So I thought I'd do a quick video after the weekend. I know there were lots of fights, but one of the ones, because I'm more into the heavyweights, let's be honest, one of the ones I thought was brilliant and an incredible victory, incredible performance, was Tony Yoka, the gold medalist from 2016. I put that in inverted commas, against Martin Bakole. And if I accidentally call him Lawrence, it's because I got Lawrence Bakole on the brain, but not related. What I didn't realise actually is that Martin Bakole is the younger, and again I guess I should put that in inverted commas, brother of Ilunga Makabu, who was the dude that Tony Bellew beat for his cruiserweight world title back in the day. So anyway, I don't like Tony Yoka. Comes across a very arrogant, unpleasant guy. I mean, even when Joyce, I've forgotten now, I want to say James Joyce, but that was a novelist. Joe Joyce, that's the one. Even when in the 2016 gold medal final of the Olympics, Joyce is, literally battering the dude from pillar to post. And Tony Yoka kind of like waves his arms around and puts his tongue out and this kind of stuff as though he's cruising the fight. No, he had the judges in his bag, and I think that's even official now, isn't it? With all the investigations that went into it, the fact they're basically banning boxing because of people like him. Plus he missed a ton of drugs tests over in France. Yeah, so, I don't like Tony Yoka. So I'm very glad at the time. But I was thinking ultimately his fitness and his long-rangey jab and that stuff would probably be the deciding factor along with the judges. I didn't think he'd stop Bakole, but I thought that he'd be able to get on his bike, fight off the back foot, keep popping Bakole with the jab. And I thought we would have superior boxing skills, quite frankly. The rumour's always been that he's chinny. I believe in the amateurs he has been stopped before. And I think this proved that he is chinny. So how did it go? Well, in the first round, of course, Bakole put down Yoka with... he was firing combinations. Yoka kind of keeps his hands up in front of his face, protects from the straight shot. But Bakole was going down to the body with nice combinations, and his hands were really fast. I didn't know Bakole's hands were that fast. Even his feet at times were not that slow either. And the shots he was landing, because of the guard kind of protecting the straight shot a lot of the time, he was just, hooking off the jab and stuff and throwing hooks. And they were kind of cuffing shots, But a lot of them are catching Yoka sort of on the side of his head, just a little behind the ears, perfectly legal shots. And they were scrambling Yoka up. And in that first round, there's another of these combinations. And he already looked wobbly after he'd been hit a couple of times by Bakole. And I think it was a right hook in the end, at the end of a combination, that put Yoka down. And Yoka just couldn't deal with him in the pocket. The Bakole jab was at least on a par with the Yoka jab, but it's just the heaviness of it, the thuddingness, the thudding power of these shots. And Yoka was trying to get sort of on his bike, as we said he might, and back off. And with these judges, yeah, he could have just stayed on his bike, gone off the back foot. But the problem was he couldn't land anything. Simone came in range. I mean, I don't know what the wingspan of them are and what his... Yoka and Bakole's arm lengths are, which is perhaps more important. But either way, the Yoka jab was not able to dominate. And Bakole's head movement was really good. And his foot movement as well, when they were just engaging sort of just on the outside of the pocket, as Dwyer would probably put it. Bakole was moving around, stepping off, predicting where Yoka was going to exit, and then hooking and catching him. And he basically got Yoka scared. And Yoka was thinking, I'm sure, that I'm going to get knocked out by this guy if I keep this up. And then we have the fifth round where Yoka goes down again. I don't know if he tweaked his Achilles or something, might have been, but he went down. I mean, he was still losing every round, but it didn't appear that it was a punch necessarily that put him down. Maybe he twisted his ankle or something when he was trying to back out the pocket, but either way, that was scored a knockdown. Not entirely clear, it should have been. I don't think, we had someone like Sporting Icons, Nigel, saying that, it was Hay versus Belly you won after that. I didn't see that myself at all. I don't think there was any tear to his Achilles, because if that was the case, how do you still bounce around the ring and all this stuff? I don't think so. Maybe he tweaked his Achilles a tad, but there was no tear. And it was much the same. I mean, Bakole did begin to slow down. Maybe Yoka took a round or two. And his trainer, Virgil Hunter, was sort of saying, look, you really need to get stuck in with this. You need to try and knock him out. Yoka was trying, but whenever he got close, it was the same thing. It was that power from Bakole that he just couldn't deal with, and that skill as well, that hand speed. And then he got on his bike again. And then remarkably, come the 10th round, it's a 10-round fight, Yoka was dancing away. He didn't seem to realise that he definitely needed a knockout. And of course, with the corrupt judging, if he'd just taken the 10th round, maybe it would have been a draw or a win. I don't know. I haven't looked at all the cards. But he was dancing away and waving his hands around as though he'd won. I mean, it was remarkable, really. It was just a thorough beatdown. A completely dominant performance by Bakole. And look, he came in very, very heavy. I believe he was about 34 pounds heavier than Yoka, although I think they're about the same height. And obviously Bakole, he's a big, strong unit. And, maybe he was tiring a little bit. His pace did slow down, his punch output did slow down in the latter part of the fight, and that might be a problem when it goes to 12 rounds, because I assume he's going to step up and face a contender now, because I don't think we can really call Yoka a contender, more of a prospect. But with those skills and that performance, that power, and that footwork as well, he wasn't sort of prancing around the ring or anything, but when he was in the pocket, he was very adept at finding those angles. Just a thoroughly impressive performance that I didn't really know Bakole had it in him. I was hoping he'd win, just so I don't like Tony Yoka, but I thought in reality he'll probably get stopped later, he'll get robbed, he'll lose on the cards, or even get robbed on the cards. I didn't really see him getting a points verdict, and of course it should have been a unanimous points verdict by a mile, really. Yoka got maybe 1 round, possibly 2 if you're really generous, but that has to be it, really. So great performance by Martin Bakole. I look forward to seeing more of him in the future. I mean, we wonder how old he really is. If that guy's 28, well, I guess I'm about 17 still then. I don't see that myself, but maybe he counts his years like Luis Ortiz years, You know how they count dog years, like is it 7 years for a dog is 1 for a human or something? Maybe Bakole does a similar thing when he works out his age, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. Seems to have a lot in the tank. Credit to his trainer as well, whose name I forget, but they get a bit of stick, don't they, that lot? But brilliant game plan, brilliant performance. So, big props to him. And Tony Yoka, where does he go from here? I mean, maybe he could fight Hughie Fury, someone that's not going to put him at risk of being knocked out, because it's clear he can't handle big punches, especially when they come kind of sides. All we should say as well with Yoka is that his Bakole I said he was landing a lot of hook stuff, he was, and hitting the body a lot, but he was also landing a very nice straight thudding jab as well on occasion, and, more than on occasion, regularly every round. He bust up Yoka's nose pretty badly, and someone as vain as Yoka, who likes to sort of pose. I don't know if he's still married or if they're separated or divorced now, but I know very much a celebrity in France, isn't he? It looked like he's going to have a wonky nose, so he'll need to get that one sorted. But that must have been a hindrance as well, because that happened quite early on in the fight, and we know that if you've not had that before, not used to that can mess you up, I suppose, in his defence. So we'll see where he goes from here. Right, anyway, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.